Hi there. Today we'll take a look at the tesda certification, specifically at the nc3 bookkeeping certification that you are hearing a lot from us. So why do we need this certification from tesda? First, I'd like to focus on the qualities of what makes tesda one of the best certifications that you can get. First, it is a national certification. It is recognized by the government. And if you want to work with the government, then there's just one certification that you need. It's not even, finishing graduate studies and all that, but it's now moving towards a certification on the national level. Of course, civil service exam will still matter, but that's just the first gate. If you want to get promoted and get higher salaries and march up to the ranks, then it's national certification that you need, especially tesda certification. Another thing that I would like to focus on is that tesda certification is greater than your ordinary seminars. Even if you go to expensive seminars about lean management and Six Sigma, it's not something that the government recognizes immediately. It's really tesda certification that most government agencies recognize at the moment. I mean, if you compare that specifically to how much you need to pay in order to get certified versus, for example, a lean Six Sigma certification or a lean professional certification, then you have to go with something that gives you more benefit with little less of a price. Another thing that I would like to present with you is the fact that upon consultation with people from the government themselves. I mean, we have one enrollee, for example, for our nc3 bookkeeping, and she said that my experience in years in teaching, because she wants to be ranked by DepEd, only gave her 1.5 points for every year of experience. And even masters and PhD only gets 1 point. But tesda certification, or tesda certificate, gives you 10 points. I'm not kidding, man. I mean, 10 points. That means if you will look at the tesda certification points, it's simply mind-boggling. I mean, it corresponds to about 10 years of experience on the eyes of the government. I mean, it's not something that we are saying truthfully. It's just the way it is. So you have to really look at this opportunity from a positive point of view. Another thing that we like to focus on is the fact that it seems that the international market, but they only recognize tesda certification. I mean, because it's government certification. I mean, we also offer migration assistance with Australia, New Zealand, and all that. And what we notice is that the tesda certificate bears more points again than say masters or PhD. It's really something that we really have to take notice. And sometimes we also wonder why only tesda. I mean, it seems unfair, but that's really the way it is right now. So you really have to focus on this. You really have to understand why, for example, if you want to apply to a job, especially if you want to be a ranked professional, a nurse, or professional worker or something in other countries, you get immigration, migration documents and all that, then tesda will really help you in getting there. Another thing the that perhaps makes that will make you understand why Tesla is important is because of its competency alignment. It aligns to the AQF, the ASEAN Qualifications Framework. I mean, all countries in the world have some sort of a qualifications framework, and it's usually competency based. It's not something that aligns to, like, if you wanna be certified with the safety, SO1 or SO2 or SO3. That doesn't mean a thing if it doesn't enumerate the competencies that aligns to the qualifications framework of the country that you want to work with. So really, if you get a TESA certification, especially if you have like a bookkeeping, NC3 bookkeeping, or event management, or everything that is listed under the TESDA certification, it really helps you get employed everywhere in the world. Okay, another thing is the focus on the real goal of K to 12. As you very well know, we have offered K to 12, and the direction of the K to 12 is that some people, some students will no longer go to college, and that's a fact. I mean, this aligns not just to us, but for the rest of the world. I mean, specifically for first world countries like the US, for example, not everyone goes to college, and the way to go about it is that there has to be in the K to 12 the framework that gives you direction to where you must go into. I mean, your qualifications or competency aligns to that. And for the ABM track, for example, we know that the government is aimed towards certifying the ABM track with the NC3 bookkeeping TESDA. So really, if you look into it, imagine all the students graduating from the ABM track, getting their NC3 bookkeeping, and eventually the companies around the Philippines, and especially within the ASEAN framework, you see that they will be getting people who are certified under the AQF framework, AQF or the ASEAN Qualification Framework, and specifically for the bookkeeping track, and there's the NC3 bookkeeping of TESDA. Okay, another question. A lot of people are saying, why now? I mean, why do I need to get it now? My question is, why not now? I mean, eventually you will need to be certified for a competency. You don't know whether the next year something opens up in Japan or in New Zealand or elsewhere in the world, and when you need to be certified to a certain competency, that's not the time where you will need to look for TESDA certification and then scramble for a schedule, which doesn't come, by the way, very easily. So you really have to really get your certification now. Like, for example, for me, we got certified, we got assessed last December, and we only got our certificate just a few days ago. So imagine the length of time that sometimes you have to wait in order to get your certificate. And if you need to, for example, migrate already to Canada or Australia, and there's an opening in a certain company where they need a certification, that would be a lot of hassle. So that's really the reason why you need to do it right now. Now, the bookkeeping solution for TESDA is that, a lot of myths surrounds this, and a lot of people are thinking that it's just for finance people. No, it's not that. We have to erase the myth that the bookkeeping, the NC3 bookkeeping, is not only for CPAs. In fact, if you look at it, it's not for CPAs. Come to think of it, if you're a CPA, you don't want to be a bookkeeper because you're already an accountant. Why would you get a certification for TESDA in bookkeeping when you are already a CPA? But if you look at it from the perspective of the global market, our CPA will not be able to to practice their being CPAs everywhere in the world. You can only practice your being a CPA here in the Philippines because we don't even have an ASEAN accountant as we speak. And that is the reason why the Board of Accountancy, for example, has changed the curriculum of the accountancy. And this is a proper time, especially if you're not a CPA, in order for you to practice in the global market. It's not only for bookkeeping, mind you. I mean, if you look at the certificate of TESDA, it enumerates a lot of other competencies that doesn't just align to bookkeeping. All companies in the world, global companies, has at least three departments: marketing department, the finance department, and the operations department. You have to be certified in at least one of them. The marketing has a certification of its own. The operations, maybe you can get Lean or Six Sigma, but that is expensive, right? But the finance side, you only need an nc3 bookkeeping, and that's already something that you can show your global companies, and that's already something that will be able to land you a job. Of course, in Horizon, what we do is that we review you and assist you with the TESDA exam. We schedule you for the exam, and then we liaise with the TESDA. And as of now, we have 100% passing for 3 batches now. So we have a pretty good passing rate for TESDA. That's about 30 out of 30. And mind you, more than 50% of these people who took exams in NC3, they are not, they don't belong to the finance group. I mean, some of them are teachers, some of them are engineers. So it's really for everybody. So that's it. Those are just some of the things that I would like to share with you in order for you to really decide on taking your NC3 bookkeeping with us. Thank you very much and good luck.